Alldus podcast is brought to you by Alldus International, supplying your expert AI and digital transformation staffing needs across the US and Europe. Today, you are listening to our AI in Action series, where leading minds in AI from across the world share their story, success, and advice. AI in Action cuts through the hype and explores the true impact of artificial intelligence in our world today.
You're listening to AI in Action. I'm your host, JP Valentine. Our guest today is Payton Soicher. Payton is the Director of Machine Learning at Wurl. Payton, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me on, John. I appreciate it.
So Payton, let's start with yourself, please. Could you give us a bit of a background of your journey in technology, from where you got started, some of the roles you've held along the way, and take us up to today as the Director of ML for Wurl?
I would say that I was actually relatively new to the tech game. In my undergrad at Washburn University in Topeka, Kansas, I played baseball there, which is the reason why I chose a smaller school in the middle of the country. But I majored in actuarial mathematics, and I really just found it a passion for math and solving problems. I didn't really figure out that math could be utilized in that way until I was later in my life, and really enjoyed learning all of the different cool things that I could solve. But I didn't really have any programming background. I minored with a computer science degree as well, but that was mostly with Java and writing front end applications that I didn't actually enjoy. It was just to complete my degree. Right out of college, I got an internship with a company called SSB Consulting, which was a professional sports and entertainment and higher education consulting company, data company that does a great job of combining a bunch of video sources amongst data sources. If you're thinking of professional sports teams, you're thinking about concessions data and ticketing and parking and merchandise, anything that you really think that a lot of data sources that you don't know if Johnny Smith and John Smith are the same person, do they live in the same location, all these different types of things. And that's where that company in database management did a really great job of kind of grouping all of that and cleaning data for a lot of people. And that's how I got my start in actual database management and working with data. And then my manager at the time mentioned hey, you have a really deep math background and we have a lot of data. Have you ever thought about doing data science? And that was really the first time I had ever even heard of the term data science or machine learning up until that point. So I started teaching myself Python and really got comfortable in the landscape of using data and math together. And from there, I actually started posting out a couple of articles. I played baseball in college and I'm a big sports fan. And I started writing a couple of articles online about different sports problems, like calling timeouts and foul trouble and things like that. I really enjoyed just teaching myself and practicing myself. And from there, I was reached out to by Sony PlayStation, and I ended up working for them for about a year in their San Diego studio, which was really, really great, a completely different landscape, and really got to see why Sony is such a powerful and stable and tech leading company. That's one of the highlights of my career, was getting to work with them and really get to understand some of the cool applications that I could use at Sony PlayStation. And then after about a year there, I was reached out to by Wurl, that was just starting their machine learning practice for video streaming distribution. They were getting into the data science game and they wanted someone to lead their machine learning team. So I got hired on as their lead machine learning engineer. And I've kind of worked my way up over the last about year and a half into that director role. So that's kind of how I got started, from kind of just beginning as an intern and learning about database management to now helping lead our machine learning efforts here at Wurl.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. Some great lessons there in following your overall interest, but then choosing to upskill yourself while doing so. And it's obviously worked out because it's led you to where you are today. You touched on a little bit as to why you landed at Wurl, but let's take a step back. Tell us all about Wurl, who you are, what you do, mission of the business.
Sure. So Wurl helps streamers and content owners make the most of ad-support streaming by providing technology to support monetization, distribution, content, and user acquisition. So our suite of ad selling and performance marketing services empower customers to sell CTV inventory at higher CPMs, reduce churn, acquire new viewers, and increase return on ad spend. And what that all really means is there are content companies out there that want to start to get into the CTV space, and also FAST, and FAST stands for free ad support television. And if you buy a smart TV nowadays, you might notice that it already comes in with a bunch of free streaming channels with a wide range of content. And all of those channels need to be approved by their streamer, and make sure that when you're trying to stream out your content, very much like any other free ad support television, if you think of YouTube or anything like that, you have ad slots, and Wurl does a really great job of helping you stream out your content on the different distribution platforms, as well as help fill your ad slot inventory, making sure that if you have any inventory that you didn't sell, Wurl does a really great job of stepping in and helping fill that inventory for you. So my job in that whole landscape is to help try and find good high quality candidates that will come to those streamed channels and get a good return on their ad spend for those streamers. If they would love to run a campaign with Wurl, my job is helping find the best candidates possible and making sure that it's just performance targeting. So finding the best candidates and trying to drive them to those different channels.
Yeah, thank you for that. I do want to spend some more time talking about the aspects of AI, data science, and machine learning that are at play on a daily basis. Obviously, a lot of this falls under your remit as the director of machine learning, but could you describe what the day-to-day looks like for you and your team, from the various positions that are at play, the type of work, and some of the challenges that you face?
Just like any traditional type of machine learning, especially when you're trying to do performance-based advertising, it really comes down to recommendation machines. We're trying to build the best recommendation machines that we possibly can. One of the unique scenarios that we are in is when you work with most companies, you're only working within that realm, right? So one of the unique challenges that we have on the machine learning team is we work with different video streamer distribution companies. So there are a lot of different smart TV companies. There's also a lot of streaming apps. All of them have different, genres and different content that's available on all of these different streamers. And so one of the really unique challenges that we have is, instead of just only having one small domain where we're trying to find who's the best person for a specific streamer or for a specific channel, is that we're working with a lot of different streamers and a lot of different channels. So we have to come up with algorithms that are flexible and scalable, that we can use them so that they're applicable in one manner and applicable in another manner at the same point. So what we're really focusing on over at Wurl is your people's viewership habits of FAST, as well as the genre and content that they're interested in as well. However, just with the high scale of data that we have, you can't always go into the different levels of genres. You might have a channel that shows a wide variety of genres. You might also have people that are watching channels that we might not know a lot about, but we're trying to figure out, in the grand scheme of things, what that person might be interested about that channel is. So it's spending a lot of time trying to play around in, if you want, an imaginary vector space of what people's interests are, what tendencies do they have when they're watching television, and then trying to find appropriate recommendations for those people to say, hey, we are running a campaign and we're promoting a specific channel or streamer. We think that you'd be a really great candidate for that, just because we know your viewership tendencies, and we're trying to make a great high quality recommendation to our viewers for the channels that we help stream.
You are listening to the Alldus podcast. When you're looking to scale your team, or if you are interested in showcasing your company in a future episode, reach out today. Or if you're in the market for a new role, visit our website to view open positions, www.alldus.com.
Staying on the topic of examples, obviously what you're talking about is quite complex because it's often dealing with real-time data by demographic. Is there a recent example that you can share with us of just how impactful Wurl can be for users, for viewers, and for the customers who are coming to you with this need?
Yeah, I don't know if I have a true example of one campaign that knocked it out of the park, but we see across the board when a lot of our customers are trying to really drive and promote their channel, we do see a really good uptick in the and the amount of viewership that comes in right when we start that campaign based upon where we think that their viewership would have been without running the promotional campaign. That's what it all really comes down to with a lot of our customers, is trying to show when you spend $1, this is the money that you're getting back from our platform. And that's really the power of perform marketing that we've really been able to show off. I think the old quote for marketing is, I'm spending all this money in marketing and I know where half of it's going and I don't know where the other half of it's going. That's the power of perform marketing, is we're able to actually show, hey, we targeted these people. These were the people that we got great responses from. And these are also some of the qualities of these people and what they're bringing to your channel. And then also we got acquired by AppLovin. If you're not familiar, AppLovin is the leading platform for developers that enables developers to grow their business through solutions like user acquisition, monetization, and measurement. And that's been a really, really great celebration here at Wurl. We're really excited about working with AppLovin, and it's really made a really big difference on our approach to how we're going to try and solve CTV solutions with using performance marketing.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought up the acquisition by AppLovin, because it leads nicely then into what you expect to happen at Wurl when you look at the next 12, 24 months. So obviously, becoming part of the AppLovin brand company is going to lead to further support and investment in what you're doing at Wurl. As the director of ML, when you look at the project roadmap and also headcount roadmap over the next 12 to 24 months, what are you excited about? What growth are you expecting to see?
So starting with AppLovin, the acquisition of Wurl gives, even more resources, technology, customers, guidance to help Wurl accelerate our growth, and the combination to work to enhance Wurl's monetization and performance marketing products based off of the machine learning and other innovative technologies. That's at the foundation of AppLovin software and have benefited its global customers. So, really that guidance is going to be so beneficial to Wurl moving forward. And for a roadmap of our team in general for the machine learning team, it's just trying to explore the best ways possible to improve our machine learning algorithms and understand and learn from our current campaigns and our previous campaigns what's worked and what hasn't. We're constantly tweaking things, and we're constantly trying to figure out what our viewers are most interested in, the viewers of these content companies are most interested in, what they respond best to. I think there's a lot of discussions in the tech space right now when it comes to, what information is valuable and what information is just not usable or is just hurting. But at the end of the day, everyone wants great recommendations for them. That's one of the great things about the Internet of Things right now, and what people are trying to get out of their internet experience, if you want to call it that. We're trying to do the same thing. We're trying to give high quality recommendations. We're trying to give the best experience possible, not only for our customers when they're trying to make promotions, but also for the viewers to make sure that they're actually being targeted with appropriate things towards their content and towards their interests. That as long as we can keep driving on both those fronts, we're going to have some really great success here at the Wurl machine learning team.
Staying on the topic of the machine learning team, obviously as the director of the group, you lead it, you create the culture, you're also heavily involved in the hiring. And when you're speaking to candidates about the work, the mission, the environment at Wurl, what is it that you tell them to get them excited to join Wurl over some of the other great opportunities available to them?
One of the cool things about Wurl, and from the moment I started here, is and especially coming from a really big company like Sony, it's so much more intimate with the number of people that you get to work with at Wurl, and especially the culture here at Wurl. It has really been, from what I've seen, very employee first driven. We do a really great job of making sure that people are happy and people are working on projects that they're really interested in. For my team specifically, what we look for is in candidates and when people are being onboarded is there is no specialist for someone who works on our machine learning team. You get to have the full A to Z experience of working directly, getting your hands dirty with data, building pipelines, doing machine learning, doing analytics, tweaking things up, putting things into production. A lot of things that you wouldn't get that true experience to work with if you worked at a larger company, or a company that might just want the machine learning engineer to build a machine learning model and then give those results back, and that's at the end of the project. there really is no end of the project here at Wurl. It's especially for all of the people on the machine learning team, just because we're constantly innovating and we're constantly tweaking things, that it's exciting for me to help lead and show the people who work on our team what that full pipeline looks like and give them the best experience that they have, that they don't, whenever their career is over at Wurl, it won't just be, oh, I only got to work on this, oh, I only got to touch this. It's so much more interesting and inclusive for everybody to have that full experience and really get the full treatment to be the best engineer and the best machine learning engineer that they can be.
Thank you so much, Payton. Really, really appreciate the insight, not just to your own journey, of course, which is super impressive in itself, but giving us a look behind the scenes at Wurl. It sounds like a fascinating place for anyone who's involved in AI, given you're working with large data sets, real-time projects, and having an impact. And obviously the recent acquisition, further investment into the advancements at Wurl. Grateful for your time today. Thank you for giving us a look behind the scenes, and we wish you, the team, and everyone at Wurl the best of luck in the months and years to come. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Alldus podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and any Android podcast of choice. You can also head over to our website, www.alldus.com, to listen to more podcasts, view our open roles, and stay up to date with industry news. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for more great episodes coming very soon.